Let's talk about one of the biggest myths in men's health, the idea that testosterone causes prostate cancer. This myth controlled medicine for about 70 years, and it all came down from a small, misunderstood study from the 1940s. We're talking a microscopic sample size, primitive lab tests, and conclusions that aged about as well as a bottle of milk in the Texas sun. So let's break it down. This all goes back to a researcher named Dr. Charles B. Huggins in 1941. In 1941, he studied men with advanced metastatic prostate cancer, meaning the prostate cancer had already spread throughout their body. These were very sick individuals. Here's what he did that shaped the last 60 to 70 years of medical belief. He measured serum acid phosphatase, which at the time was the only blood marker they had for prostate cancer activity. Remember, PSA didn't exist yet. That's what we typically are going off these days, but he didn't have modern imaging, no testosterone assays, and the sample sizes were tiny. So what did he find? Huggins showed that when he removed testosterone via castration, the phosphatase levels dropped, and when he gave estrogen, they also dropped. And when he gave testosterone, in just 3 men, their phosphatase levels increased. That's it. That's the whole basis for the myth. So to be clear, only 3 men received androgen injections. Only 2 of those even had usable results. And 1 of them had already been chemically castrated before receiving testosterone. This wasn't some modern clinical trial. It was 3 case report in men with late-stage metastatic cancer using a marker we don't even rely on today. But medicine generalized its finding to every man on Earth. Even though Huggins' work applied to only men with severe metastatic cancer, the medical community did what it often does best. It overcorrected. The logic became, if testosterone makes metastatic cancer markers rise, then testosterone must cause prostate cancer in healthy men. That's like saying because oxygen worsens shortness of breath and COPD, oxygen must cause COPD. The conclusion never matched the data. Here's why Huggins' findings fall apart when applied to normal men. His patients already had widespread cancer. They're at the end stage of the disease. PSA testing didn't exist, and they didn't even know what normal testosterone levels even were. He used castration, then massive androgen injections, and we're talking about 3 subjects, not a study population. This is nowhere close to the physiology of a modern man with low testosterone. And so everything changes in the early 2000s. Dr. Abraham Morgentaler at Harvard reexamines this old data and performs modern trials. He discovers the saturation model. The prostate becomes saturated with testosterone at pretty low levels, and then once saturated, adding more testosterone does not increase prostate cancer growth. Below saturation, meaning very low testosterone, prostate cancer may even grow more aggressively. This model explains why Huggins saw an effect in men with near zero testosterone and why normalizing testosterone in healthy men doesn't fuel anything. Dr. Abraham Morgentaler is amazing. I love his story. We went to a conference, and he holds a conference every year in January, and he kind of tells the backstory. I'm going to bring reptiles back into this. He did some undergrad work with lizards where he would make their testosterone 0, put them with a female, and notice that they had no drive to reproduce with that female. He used a testosterone powder and would place it in their brain, and whenever he would drop the powder just right, they put them together, and he said these lizards, they bob their heads whenever they're trying to court the female. He said they'd immediately start bobbing their heads. And so from that work in his undergrad, got him really interested in testosterone whenever he became a surgical urologist. And so anyways, he tells it very good. He has podcasts, like I said, the conference, and if you're interested in that, you'll be able to find it or reach out. I'll let you know, but I just like to throw more lizards and reptiles into these whenever I can. So anyways, back to the prostate saturation model. Since then, dozens of high-quality studies confirm testosterone does not increase prostate cancer risk. Testosterone does not increase recurrence after prostate cancer treatment. Men with low testosterone actually tend to develop more aggressive tumors. Normalizing testosterone does not raise PSA long-term. Men on testosterone have the same or even lower incidence as prostate cancer as the general population. We now understand the truth. Testosterone doesn't cause prostate cancer. This myth came from a misunderstood enzyme test in 3 metastatic patients. And the tragedy is this myth kept millions of men suffering with low energy, depression, weight gain, insulin resistance, sexual dysfunction, osteoporosis, muscle wasting, just overall poor quality of life, all because doctors were afraid of a risk that was never even real. So no, testosterone does not cause prostate cancer. This myth came from a tiny, outdated study in terminal patients using a marker we don't even rely on today. The modern evidence is clear. When monitored correctly, testosterone therapy is safe, and low testosterone may actually be the bigger risk. If you want deep dives into more hormone myths, sexual health, overall longevity, like, comment, subscribe, reach out, and we'll be happy to do more content like this.